Hey there guys, Stacy here from MonkeyGunGames, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your PDF print and play cards. I have a couple of options for you. The first one is going to be super simple and it involves stickers, and then the second one is a little bit more involved, and there's a lot of different options for how fancy you want to get with it. So what you're going to need to start this off is, of course, a couple of decks of just standard poker cards. Now this is for the stick and play side. I found these, the AVERY 25 395 stickers, and they're just name tag stickers that you can print in your laser printer. And by the way, on the PDFs, we've gone ahead and pulled out all of the colors for the backgrounds, so you're not going to be draining all of your printer ink. I know it's more expensive than gold right now, so it's just going to be the plain black logo on the back of the cards. But as you can see, there's a big word on the back of it that says what it is, so you'll still be able to know what the card is when they're face down. So these AVERY stickers are fantastic. They're actually just a little bit smaller all the way around than a poker card. So that's why they're ideal. So what you're going to start off with, now you're going to probably need 2 decks of cards. There's 56 cards in the print and play. There's 8 character cards, 16 quest cards, and 32 plot twists. So what we're going to do is we'll start with that one. Now I already have some sheets printed out, so I'm not taking up your time watching my printer go. So once you get your card out, you'll print out the sheets, and they're assembled front and back. One sheet of backs come out, and then the next sheet of fronts come out, so that you can keep them collated pretty well. And you'll be able to peel off a back, and it's as simple as this. Line it up and pop it right on the card, and it's pretty amazing. Make sure that you are putting it in the right direction, because that's uncomfortable sometimes when you have to flip the card over. But there you have one fully assembled print, stick, and play card. You will need almost an entire package of these. It ends up being 7 sheets, and 8 sheets come in here, so you don't have a whole lot of room for mistakes. But that's pretty simple. The other way to do the print and play is actually much more involved. So the way that we've set up the PDF is that it's half and half. That way it makes it super simple to align the cards. That's something I've always had a hard time with, is lining them up after you print them. A lot of print and plays are all 1 page of fronts and 1 page of backs, just like the sticker PDF is. But it doesn't work out that well, and a lot of times I get them a little kind of wonky. So the way we've set it up here is half and half, so these backs go with these fronts. Once you print them out, I recommend that you print them out on a little bit of cardstock. I have them printed on paper here just for showing the procedure. But with a little bit more with a little heavier paper, it works really well as a print and play. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your page. Oh, you're going to need a X-Acto blade, a ruler, preferably one with a little grippy on the back. I find that the pages don't slide very badly when you have a gripper on the back. A self-healing mat, and some school glue. You can use different types of glue. I end up normally using Elmer's, just because it's easy and I can use it inside. But if I'm doing a whole bunch of them, like when we were doing the prototyping, I was using Super 77. You got to do this outside. It smells really bad, and you're going to mess up the surrounding area. You'll get adhesive everywhere. But it works really well. Okay. Yep, I think that's all you need. So you have your page, and it's printed out. And if you can see, there's printer marks, there's lines all over the place. That way you can easily know where to cut. All right, handy dandy ruler, self-healing mat so I'm not damaging my table. I'm gonna line this up on that center line. So just between the backs and the fronts. Lining it up like this, taking my X-Acto blade. Now on this first pass, I'm just gonna score it very lightly. That's so that the page can bend easily. So it's just a super light drag across the top of the paper. You don't want to cut all the way through. It's just enough so that when you bend the paper, it folds exactly on that line. And what that does is makes sure that, I don't know if you can see this, but you can hold it up to a light and see that they're exactly lined up front to back. So that works really, really well. And even if your paper gets sucked into your printer just a little bit askew, if you use the score to do the fold, the cards will line up perfectly every time. All right, so once we got that score down, trusty glue. You just cover the backs completely with your school glue. And like I said, if you use a little bit heavier cardstock, it works really well. I'll show you what it looks like on some of the other prototype cards that we did that came out really nice and we ended up playing with for quite a while. And make sure that you get the glue along all of the edges really well. That's the worst, when it starts to peel up and come apart. All right, so now that fully glued, fold it again. That's the other reason I like using these stick glues, is that it doesn't over wet the paper, so you don't get a whole lot of rippling and wrinkling. But with cardstock, it doesn't happen as much anyway. Press it down really good. If you're super uber worried about bubbles, you can put this, once you put the sides together, you can put this in a book and weight it down for 15 minutes or so. All right, so now I have my halves both glued together really well, and I'm going to trim off the excess white all the way around. That's going to make a clean edge for all of these. Again, I'm using a ruler with a little bit of grippy on the bottom so that it doesn't slide around. I wouldn't recommend doing multiple sheets at a time, because I find that the pages underneath end up sliding and the registration doesn't work. So, all right, cutting off the long side, down to 2 short sides. This is a pretty quick process. It may take you about 15 to 20 minutes to do the whole deck, especially as you get more and more comfortable with your X-Acto blade and your ruler. All right, now I have all the white trimmed off of it, and I'm just going to separate the cards. Now, there's a couple of other options that you have also if you want to make these a little bit more durable. One of the things that I've found that if you really push really hard on this so that it doesn't slide, if you want to play with these often, I find that using a little bit of Krylon, just the crystal clear, make sure it is crystal clear because it's inconvenient to see through opaque paint. Again, this is something that you need to do outside, but when you print out your pages, you can spray them lightly, super light, just to seal the paint or the ink into the cards. That way, they're a little bit more durable and last a little bit longer. I know that a lot of you do print and plays pretty regularly, so you know what I'm talking about. You can also print these out on paper and put them in the plastic sleeves, but it's a little bit nicer when you have an actual card, right? Okay, so you just saw me create 4 cards, and that's all it takes. Now, again, here's another option that makes them really look good and fancy and actually feel better when you're trying to play and print. I found this Kodamara Pro. It's $12 on Amazon. I have the link in the description. And this little guy is just incredible. It's super simple. I find that with this size cards, I use the small corner. But as you can see on here, I don't know if you can see it really well, there's a small corner, a medium corner, and a large corner. And that just refers to the amount of curvature of the punch, because this is a tiny little corner hole punch. So it's just going to round the corners and make them look and feel a little bit more professional. So I will slide this guy in and do a quick corner. And you can see, there it is. You can see how nice an edge that makes that. And it's very quick and easy to do all your corners. Takes about, I don't know, 15 seconds to do a whole card. And the difference from this to this is so much more professional, and it just feels nice. It feels cool and clean. So now keep in mind, when you print these out, you're not going to be able to riffle shuffle like you can with regular cards. You need to just use them like shuffle with your hands, because they are going to be a little stickier and a little bit less willing to shuffle against one another. Also keep in mind that these will bend. So it's paper, it's cardstock. If you bend the card, it will bend and it will stay that way. Unlike a lot of poker deck cards, they'll kind of bounce back a little bit. These are some cards that we did during the prototyping. And as you can see, I played with some different corner sizes on this one, and had them full ink. So ended up burning out a lot of ink on my prototyping. But they're a little bit more sturdy. This is regular cardstock. I think it's 65-pound stock. And they're really, really quite durable, and they work really well for printing and playing. So thanks so much. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a lot of fun playing your game, playing the print and play. Please feel free to like and comment. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a holler at support@MonkeyGunGames.com. Thanks so much.